All right, breaking news. Breaking news. San Antonio, Texas. Come on in, folks. There's a body that has been found inside a business. It is a murder investigation. More chaos, more craziness happening in San Antonio, Texas. Good morning, everyone. San Antonio Police have this business on the northwest side roped off. And we got some sort of murder investigation. The craziness continues as we cover almost regularly everything that happens out of San Antonio. And the lawlessness continues. The wacky and the crazy things. Shootings, homicides, murders, standoffs, police shootings. It never ends in San Antonio, Texas. It never ends. It never ends. They never get a break. And here we are. So this is a building. I'm going to try to establish the location. This popped up on the feed. So we're going to investigate a little bit and find out what in the heck is going on. Do we have armed suspects out on the loose? Is this a shooting? Is this a stabbing? Is there something else to this? Murder investigation. So thank you for being here. It's already San Antonio. After a pretty crazy weekend in San Antonio with quite a few shootings, we have another incident that happened. Just in the last couple days, all types of shootings in San Antonio. San Antonio. We're here in San Antonio, seeing what's going on. Thank you for being here. Thank you for stopping by. We don't like to cover the craziness, but we have to see what's going on in San Antonio because many people in the chat have been telling us that San Antonio has significantly changed for the worst. It has been getting worse in San Antonio, Texas. Body found, another craziness. So we'll see what's up. We'll see what's going on and find out some key details here. I believe also a chopper is up in the sky too, so it's quite possible they'd be looking for a suspect. Now I want to find out if this has been a shooting or what. Also monitoring the situation in Brooklyn. There has been some sort of standoff this morning in Brooklyn. A police officer shot, NYPD. Somebody with a shotgun apparently shot another man and then pulled the gun on himself. There was a big hostage situation, not a hostage, but a standoff situation. They weren't sure if other people were held in there. It seems like that situation is over, but waiting to see if we can get a presser on that situation. So we got some activity this morning. And then in Minneapolis, it looks like a deputy was shot, sheriff's deputy. So we'll see what's going on. San Antonio, folks, come on in. Got police at the scene. So we'll investigate here. We'll stick around, talk a little bit, find out what's going on. I believe it was some sort of shooting murder. But we'll see. More craziness. Just Google the word San Antonio shooting. It speaks for itself. All right, what's that business say? What did it say? We'll find out the next. Hold on a second. I'm wrong. All right, I think I got the locations. LOTOs. Next to LOTOs, but I'll find out more what this business is. Is this a law office? Could be a law office. This looks like a business called Envios Dinero. Envios Dinero. (2001) Fredericksburg Road. That's where I believe we're at right now. The police are at 2001 Fredericksburg Road. It's a money transfer center. A money transfer center. It's a money transfer center. That's what it is. It's some sort of like a Western Union, like an Anscott type of thing. Erica. Thank you. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Erica. Thank you. We're also monitoring the situation in Brooklyn. So if a press conference pops up, we'll put something up there. But we're looking at San Antonio. We're gonna see, what's happening. Yeah, cop shot in New York City. We're aware of that. It was a standoff. but I believe the suspect's dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound with a shotgun. We saw that pop up this morning. It's a massive standoff, but there was no media there. They were showing some from the Citizen app. All right, so there's some sort of body inside this building here. And it looks like it's old. It's called Envios Dinero. It's a like a service for funds domestically and internationally. It's a money transfer service. Now I don't know if it was in operation or what at the time. Giovanni, 7686. Thank you. Very grateful. Thank you. We're back this morning covering the craziness around the country. And we'll see what today brings. Homicide investigation. So we'll just see what's up. It's a money exchange. A body was found at a business on the northwest side Monday morning with signs of a beating. Separately, a body was found on a street near downtown just before 7 a.m. Police are investigating both incidents. More craziness. Two bodies found this morning. Two bodies found this morning in San Antonio. A body has been found in front of this money control center here. Signs of a beating. Fredericksburg Road near Rosewood Avenue. Blunt force trauma. So two bodies have been found. And one in downtown. Crazy. Two bodies found. back to back in San Antonio. All right, folks, there has been 2 bodies found in 2 separate locations in San Antonio this morning. So right now we have a crime scene set up in front of a money transfer money, like a Western Union, Amscot type of money place where you go in there and cash checks, a check cashing place, more or less. But again, in San Antonio, you got back-to-back bodies found. Now there has been a body that has been found in the downtown. More craziness, San Antonio. Yes, San Antonio is already starting out off for a long, long week of craziness, most likely. It never stops in San Antonio. It really doesn't. Doesn't stop in San Antonio. Oh, their feed went blank. Stand by. I don't know what happened here. It actually bounced. We're also monitoring a situation in New York. I'm gonna put on the Times Square cam for a second, because I also want to share what's happening in New York. In New York City. All right, so the one in San Antonio, I don't know what happened, but it obviously this starts out crazy with multiple bodies found at 2 locations. Now I want to go to New York City for a minute because I want to discuss 2 incidents that happened. One with a standoff. We'll take you to beautiful Times Square here. I believe police are going to give a press conference about some sort of standoff that happened earlier. We'll take a look at downtown Times Square. Look at Times Square. Apparently there was a situation with a police shooting that happened in New York. NYPD officer shot and barricaded. Suspect was barricaded inside a place here in a Brownsville apartment with a shotgun, and then ended up killing himself. So that's another situation that we were sharing too. Beautiful Times Square. I'm going to get this clip up here. But then also there's a situation with the Jets player too that has been shot, Chris Boyd. NYPD officer shot in Brooklyn. Mayor Adams says, I've been briefed on the NYPD officer who was shot in Brooklyn this morning, praying for the officer's recovery, and we will continue to monitor the situation. First Deputy Mayor Mastro is headed to the hospital as well. We'll provide updates as they become available. Another thing that's happening is in Newark,
we have
too.
Some breaking news to bring to you at this time, as New York City Mayor Eric Adams says that an NYPD officer has been shot in Brooklyn. Taking a look here at a social media post from Mayor Adams, he says this: I have been briefed on the NYPD officer who was shot in Brooklyn this morning, praying for the officer's recovery, and we will continue to monitor the situation. First Deputy Mayor Mastro is headed to the hospital as well. We'll provide updates as they are available. Our team at Fox 5 in New York is currently on the scene, and we do have those live images to bring to you right now as this investigation gets underway. Fox 5 saying this: an NYPD officer was shot on Monday morning in Brooklyn, New York City Mayor Eric Adams said in a post on X. And then I just showcased to you, that's a social media post. What we know so far is that police responded to a 911 call of a person shot on Thomas S. Boylan Street in Brownsville section. According to police, officers were informed that an unidentified individual shot a 41-year-old man in the chest. He was pronounced dead on the scene. Near the scene, police said a responding officer was injured and was in stable condition. No arrests were made. Now, what we don't know is the circumstances behind the shooting or really much more of this timeline. But as you can see from this live image that we have there, it is a very active scene at this time. Again, this is in the area there of Thomas S. Boylan Street in the Brownsville section. Coming up at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, we are expecting a press conference where investigators will be updating us on all of the details of this case. But we wanted to just let you know that we are monitoring this. We're working closely with our partners at Fox 5 in New York to gather up some more of those details. I do want to step away from.
All right. So there's another situation going on. And one, they're going to do a press conference on the NYPD officer that was shot. Might have to switch the title up a little bit because a lot of things are going on. 2 bodies found in San Antonio, New York City, Brooklyn, with the officer and the barricade situation. Now, this is New Jersey. This is Newark, New Jersey. Now, over the weekend, I made a video about a mass shooting that happened in at the end, it just ran out on the streets about 7 o'clock at night, Saturday night. And a 10-year-old got killed, and another person got killed, and multiple people shot, 5 people shot, and suspect is still out on the loose. So apparently they're going to be giving a press conference here with this situation. So we'll learn more here about what happened. And then at 10:30, they're going to be having a press conference on the NYPD shooting. So a lot of things going on here. We might just take us, switch up and say here, crazy shootings all over the place. But yeah, this is pretty wild stuff. SWAT standoff, Brooklyn, mass shooting. Just craziness. We got all types of things going on. So, stick with us. We'll just sit here and talk and listen. Apparently, we got a press conference coming up. It's just a lot of things going on. Here we are. Morning. 2 bodies found in San Antonio. Police officer shot, NYPD. Suspect barricaded, and a mass shooting that happened in Newark, New Jersey. Now, this is a presser set up for Newark. Two dead, including a 10-year-old. We'll see what they have to say here with this situation. All over the place this morning. My goodness. So I don't know what came out of the San Antonio thing. We'll learn more about that. But we're switching up here to this standoff situation and this mass shooting in Newark. Newark and New York City. Thank you for being here.
Test test 1 2 1 2. Test test 1 2. Everybody good? Test 1 2 1 2. You good? Cool. Test 1 2 1 2. Test 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 test. Good. Maybe I can't adjust it from here. Just in my back.
Sir, how are you? How you doing?
All right. So for people in the chat, welcome aboard. A lot of different things going on, from bodies found in San Antonio to a mass shooting in Newark Saturday night, and then the NYPD SWAT standoff. We'll learn a little bit about each one. We've done San Antonio. Now we're at Newark. We'll find out, if they got a suspect in custody, what's up with this crazy mass shooting that happened. Thank you for being here.
Whole place is different. So nice. So nice.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
Alicia. Larry.
I don't know who they are. I don't know who they are. Oh, okay. So I'll say. Okay. All right. Good morning. I'm Carmen Martin, Public Information Officer for the Essex County Prosecutor's Office. Speaking today are Essex County Prosecutor Theodore N. Stevens II, Newark Public Safety Director Emmanuel Miranda Sr., Newark Mayor Raz Baraka, and Essex County Sheriff Amir Jones. Also on the podium today, First Assistant Prosecutor Alex Albu, ECPO Deputy Chief of Investigators Paulo De Sousa, ECPO Sergeant Rashad Johnson, Newark Police Chief Sharonda Morris, and the Essex County Sheriff. Prosecutor Stevens will speak now.
Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for coming. This past weekend was a dark weekend in Essex County in general. There were numerous events that were notable. You may not know, but there was an officer in Livingston, Brian Baker, who committed suicide. So we keep his family and that department in mind and in our prayers. Also, as you do know, there was a 2-year-old who fell 20 stories from a building on Elizabeth Avenue in Newark. Also a tragedy, and we keep his family in mind as well. And third, there was a horrific shooting that occurred Saturday evening at approximately 7 p.m. in Newark. Police received a report of multiple shots fired in the area of the 300 block on Chancellor Avenue in Newark's South Ward. 5 individuals were struck, 2 were killed and pronounced at the scene. They are identified as a 10-year-old Jordan Garcia and 21-year-old Kaya May Scott. 3 other individuals were injured. There's an 11-year-old boy whose name is being withheld. He was the 10-year-old's brother, and he is in stable condition. There's a 19-year-old, Massey Rogers, who is in critical condition, and a 60-year-old, Shepard Miller, who is in stable condition. Those victims are all at University Hospital. Now, our investigators are still canvassing and reviewing all videos and looking for all evidence at the scene. As you can tell, this is an active and ongoing investigation, and one which is extremely critical in that particularly critical time right now. These type of serious events are always disturbing, but this shooting, you need to know, is against the trend of downward crime nationally, statewide, and especially here in Essex County, and particularly here in the city of Newark. The stats say that the homicides have decreased from the year 2022, a total of 81, down to this year, where at this point in November, there are 38 homicides. So if we extrapolate that out for the rest of the year, that's more than still a 50% decrease in terms of homicides in the city of Newark. And obviously, from a violent crime standpoint, that trend continues throughout as well. So this makes the events of this weekend particularly vexing and particularly difficult, and why we are not wasting or not withholding any resources. Everything is being utilized to try to get to the bottom of this as quickly as possible, bring these perpetrators to justice. And we're doing that, of course, as always, with our partners who work with us hand in hand. Representing the city of Newark, we have several individuals who are going to speak. You want the mayor's coming first, Carmen? Is that going to be the mayor speak? So at this point, I'd like to ask to come to the podium, Mayor of the city of Newark, Raz Baraka.
Thank you, Prosecutor. As the prosecutor pointed out, it was a particularly difficult weekend for us here in the city of Newark. Very terrible and tragic. Spoke about the 2-year-old who actually lived around the corner from there, lost his life falling from a building, and the kind of mass shooting we just had this past evening. Unfortunately, I was at the hospital that evening, and I, unfortunately, because of the level of sadness and grief, that the family showed at the hospital and everybody in the community was overwhelming. And then this morning, I just left Chancellor Avenue School with the Office of Violence Prevention and a couple of community groups. Just want to thank all of the community groups who showed up at Chancellor Avenue School, maybe 20 to 30 people in there helping console not just children, but adults as well, and providing them social services at the same time. But watching kids come out of the classroom crying was very difficult for me. Very, very difficult as a father, as a man in this city, and very difficult as the mayor. As the prosecutor pointed out, we've been working tirelessly and endlessly to make sure violence is reduced in the city. But these incidents make it clear that there's a lot more work to be done. There are too many guns on the street. Folks have too much access to guns in our communities. And we absolutely positively have to do something about that, making sure guns are not in the hands of people who don't need them or shouldn't have them. And they should not proliferate our streets in a community where people get their hands on a gun like that. I want to end by telling the perpetrators that the best thing for them to do is to turn themselves in immediately. The entire community is on alert. All of our partners, from the federal partners to state to the city, the local partners, are involved in this. All of our community groups and churches and religious institutions, all of our neighbors and family members who we've been talking to throughout the weekend, everybody is clear on what needs to happen, that these perpetrators need to turn themselves in immediately. Before the sun goes down tonight would be preferable that you turn yourselves in as soon as possible. There is nothing that you can say or do that would justify a 10-year-old losing their life. The mother whose two of her sons were shot on that scene, by God's grace, one is still alive, and those doctors. We are asking, in fact, we are demanding that you turn yourself in immediately, because the community is on alert and on lookout, and will make sure that justice is done in this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our partners in this, as the mayor indicated, our federal, state, local partners have been extremely impactful over the years. That's what's helped contribute, and primarily responsible for contributing to this downward trend. Our primary partner on all this is always the Newark Police Division, and they are headed by our next speaker, Director Manny Miranda.
Good morning, all. My name is Emmanuel Miranda. I'm the Public Safety Director in the City of Newark. I echo the sentiments of the mayor. This is not okay. This will never be okay. This is not normal. It will never be normal. That night was a very tragic night. My heart, condolences go out to the families of the shooting, of the homicide victims. To hear the yelling and the wailing of those mothers in the hospital is something that I will never forget. It was a tough time. The mayor, the prosecutor, the chief and I were there consoling the family. I have promised the families that we will not rest until these suspects are brought to justice. We have every federal partner that has reached out. The state police colonel has reached out, Pat Callahan. They are all willing to assist with this investigation. They are providing manpower. They are providing every technology that's available to us. We will not rest until these suspects are in custody. We plea out to the community. Please step up. Say something. You know something, say something. It has to be somebody's family member, somebody's friend. Say something. We need your help. The mayor constantly repeats this almost at every graduation. There can't be no public safety without the public. So we need the public to step up and do the right thing and turn these people in to justice. We want to thank all our federal partners, our state partners, especially the Homicide Task Force that have been working nonstop since this time happened. So we want to thank you, and we'll continue with our partnership. Thank you very much. I wasn't prepared to speak in Spanish. Buenas tardes, soy el director de la seguridad pública de aquí de la ciudad de Newark. Estamos lamentando mucho lo que ocurrió el sábado, el 12 de noviembre, que 5 personas fueron las 5 personas fueron disparados. Tenemos 2 homicidios, un niño que tiene 10 años y otra joven que tiene 21 años. Necesitamos la ayuda de la comunidad para traer estos sospechosos a juicio, a la justicia. Necesitamos su ayuda. Estamos trabajando con el fiscal de Essex County. Estamos trabajando con nuestros compañeros en el FBI y also con el ATF que lo están ayudando con la investigación. Necesitamos su ayuda para traer estos sospechosos a la justicia. Gracias.
Thank you. Don't ask me to do the same thing, please. And last but not least, we talked about our partners. No closer partner than here in Essex County. The Sheriff's Office we've worked in lockstep throughout on every endeavor. As you know, we've got used to be a new, now he's certainly a veteran at this point, Sheriff Amir Jones is going to come and speak, because while our plea is to have the public get involved, because you're seeing something and saying something is so important, sometimes you need a little bit more incentive, and we're blessed to be able to offer that at this point. Sheriff Jones.
Good morning. Thank you, Prosecutor. First and foremost, my heart is with the victims recovering in the hospital, also with the families of the 10-year-old child and the 21-year-old woman who lost her life. What happened to them was beyond tragic. It is brutal. It is senseless. It is an attack on everything that this county and this city stand for. Their families are living through hell, and they deserve justice without delay, and they will get it. Now, to the individuals, what you did was cowardly, heartless, and unforgivable. You shattered families and shook an entire city. You proved nothing but your own weakness. So hear me clearly. We are coming. There is no hiding. There is no running. There is nothing that will change what's coming. There is no corner of this county, no block, no basement, no friend's couch that will keep you hidden. Turn yourselves in before we come knocking on your door. And trust me, you know the door won't slow us down. So to the community, we need you to step up. Someone out there knows something. This is your city, your neighborhood, your children. We are offering a reward for up to $10,000 with any information that will lead to an arrest. Do the right thing. Help us bring justice to these families. And to the families, we stand with you. We mourn with you. We will not rest until justice is delivered. Thank you.
So the $10,000 reward offered by the Sheriff's Department is certainly going to be helpful, and hopefully getting some information that is going to be made available. So that's all we can say at this time, except just to, I guess, reiterate what has been said, that this is a heinous crime. It is something that's against the trend. The individuals involved know what they did. They know how senseless it was and how aggressive it was, and so they're going to be treated in the same manner. That's how we're coming for you, in a very aggressive, very direct manner. This is against the trend, and this is something that won't be tolerated by law enforcement anywhere, but especially here in Essex County. We're going to continue to do everything we can do to try on our end to make things better. The city of Newark has done a great job. The Office of Violence Prevention is here, and they have been instrumental in terms of creating a better nexus in the community. The Newark Police Division, as well as our partners, have done a great job just making sure that we get intel and arrest the right individuals. And so eventually we're going to come down to the real problem, which is too many guns on the street. So at that particular point, but we're going to exhaust every other resource till we get to that point. We've shown great improvement, as I've indicated, and the numbers indicate so far, and we're not going to rest until we get down to a zero sum with regard to this. So that's all we can say at this point. As I said, it's continuing investigation. So we will take a few questions if you have any. Other than the fact that we have video, that's how these cases often are cracked. And so we canvass the area to find as much as possible. And so that's what is such a painstaking part of any investigation. These individuals, the part of the homicide task force, these men and women have been on that with no sleep, with no rest, basically, since the event happened. I haven't had the opportunity to meet with them Saturday night at the scene, and they're dedicated to turn over every rock to find the right evidence to take us to the perpetrators. Yes.
Lawlessness at UNBC. Do you have any indication as to the motivation behind this? Is it potentially gang related or random or targets that you already decided?
I wish I could give you some intel on that. That's all part of the investigation. Obviously, the difficult part here is the more that we divulge, then perhaps it gives the people who are the perpetrators an opportunity to some information to know where we are or at this particular time. So other than the fact that it is against the trend, we haven't had a multi-shooting like this, multi-victim shooting, I said, in a long period of time. So that should speak to exactly how seriously we're taking this and what we think about this particular crime.
What is your police call? Can you confirm that there were multiple shooters or is there just one person that shot?
The shooter or shooters.
Okay.
So that'll tell you.
Do you know if it was a drive-by shooting or they were running?
I do know that, yes.
Or they were in the car?
I will not talk about that. That's part of the ongoing investigation.
So all you'll say is that it's a gangster trend, not that they were involved in a gang?
It's against the trend. I never used the way. Yes, against. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm from East Orange. That's my accent.
So you believe that there is gang activity involved?
No indication at this time, but this is part of an ongoing investigation.
You say that the crime, especially this crime, is going down in the city. Are you afraid that this big issue happening is going to change the perception of people on the safety in the city?
Always. I mean, I'm sure anybody who knows the history of urban America is you make 2 steps forward or 1 step back, or sometimes 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So there are always detractors who want to take one isolated incident and make it into a trend or something that is just not true. The facts speak for themselves, and that's where the numbers have gone over a multiple year period of time. So that is what makes our concentration on this particular crime so much more important, and why we're going to be as vigilant as we can.
Can you speak about the victims? Were they bystanders or were they involved?
They were a group of individuals there. All I can say, there was a group of individuals congregated in one particular location. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so they got a reward out.
Excuse me, I just want to make a correction. The deceased was pronounced at University Hospital.
All right, so we take you to New York City. We take you to, is this New York City? So we take you to another scene here, beautiful New York City. So folks, we have a situation in Newark. We have a situation in New York City, and we have a situation in San Antonio, Texas. Jumping all over the place today. So it's multiple different feeds here. It's the cameras outside beautiful New York City. However, there's been a lot of chaos. Now, with the situation there in Newark, let me just refresh while we wait for the press conference to come up with NYPD. NYPD is coming up with a press conference here within the next 30 minutes. With the situation here with the Newark mass shooting, 10-year-old boy and a 21-year-old female shot. 7 p.m. Saturday. 10-year-old boy and a 21-year-old were killed in a mass shooting on a Newark street. So they are calling it a mass shooting. They're also saying 11-year-old boy, a 19-year-old man, and a 60-year-old man wounded. That's 5 people. Wounded or in stable condition. No suspects have been arrested. No suspects have been named. Authorities are searching for the shooter or shooters. One of the comments that we got in the chat, I just want to go back to it because it's Julianne 1278. is on point. And I'm on the same page with you, Julianne 1278. If you're still here, it says they keep echoing downward crime trends while giving pressers on mass shootings. This is incredible to watch in real time. And that's a pattern I've also noticed in these cities when the politicians, whether it's the mayor, whether it's the police chief, city council person, they step to the plate and they want to emphasize in the course of, the craziness, well, crime is down. Crime numbers have been down constantly for the last couple years. Statistics show. But they want to they throw that out there. It's kind of like they all have the same template on how to do these pressers. This incident happened. However, crime has been going down, a downward trending crime, as if, they don't want to be put out there as failures, but they want to tote themselves and pat themselves on the back by claiming, oh, well, crime has gone down, though. This happened, but it doesn't mean we have a crisis in this country or in our particular city. But keep in mind, those numbers seem to be a little bit manipulated that I'm hearing. And two, a lot of times victims of crime don't report it out of fear in this, the lawlessness of these cities, the fear of retaliation or the stop snitching culture. Or they're afraid. They're afraid to come forward. So I think there's a combination of a lot of things here. But to say crime is down, to me, it's ridiculous, right? To me, that's my opinion on the matter. But it is one thing I've noticed a pattern when these politicians step to the plate. Look at that beautiful tree. In New York, they got the different feeds set up. But yeah, they're out there in Newark. Now, I remember we doing a live in Newark back in the spring. It was 2 Newark police officers shot and a juvenile arrested for that matter. So it seems like the lawlessness continues in Newark, New Jersey. Just the name Newark, New Jersey sends shivers down my spine because Newark, again, you see it. Would you walk around Newark, New Jersey and feel safe? Would you even bring your kids out there and walk around the streets in Newark with roving gangs, thugs, criminals, juveniles running around? If they're going to shoot and kill a 10-year-old, they have no regard for human life at all. People are saying it's black on black crime. Probably. I just saw some crazy footage in New Orleans where this guy just literally shot somebody at a gas station point blank range. Just point blank range. Like someone was walking and the guy just walked past him and he just turned around and went pow and shot him and then walked off. And it looked like it was like a juvenile shooting another juvenile. These people pulling out these guns and they just use them like, I don't know, their brains is not thinking the long-term consequences of what they're doing, or they're just shooting recklessly. Like, how are you going to have these juveniles running around with guns just shooting people? Now, they want to blame it on guns. They want to say we got to get rid of guns, but, the proponents are like, guns actually save lives. That's a whole different argument. These people getting ghost guns, criminals, they're getting guns. But it's not the guns. It's the culture. It's the people using the guns, because guns have been around for a long, long time. Responsible gun owners, there's more responsible gun owners out there than not, right? So you can just get rid of all the guns and punish everyone. So that's the same equivalent of people driving with DUI. You don't ever hear people saying, well, because there's some bad drunks out there that, crash DUI and kill somebody, that get rid of all the cars, get rid of all the cars because some bad apples, right? First off, if you get rid of the guns, everything will go underground. Kind of like when they banned alcohol, right? they're still going to distribute guns all around the community. And then it emboldens criminals knowing that no one is armed because they have guns banned. And it will only embolden the criminals because they know nobody will fire back and shoot back. And there's no guns around to protect anybody. So the criminals will use that to their advantage. So banning guns, to me, doesn't make sense. Personally, my personal opinion about the matter, when we hear all these school shootings and craziness, personally, in my opinion, I think responsible teachers should be armed. Confiscation would go very bad. It just would. But, over time, our generation, things are changing. Culture's changing. I wouldn't be shocked if these cities have done these gun buyback programs before. But just to mandate everyone has to give up their guns, that's not going to go well. I don't think the consensus, particularly, people outside the cities. Now, cities have policies, no gun zones, gun-free zones, tough penalties, but criminals are crazy in these cities. And, I blame it on the culture. I blame it on the internet. I blame it on fatherless children, split families, total disrespect for law enforcement, law and order. I think that all started when we started seeing all these riots in 2020, really embolden people just to do whatever. They total disregard. And they're running around the streets. It's crazy that these criminals are running around the streets with guns and cars and guns, just running around. And they just pull them out and shoot. They think that's like a firework. And you could take that life, snuff someone's life so quickly. It's insane. We're waiting for this press conference. They got it set up, but it will be 11 a.m. So in the meantime, we can talk a little bit. I want to see what happened here in New York with the standoff. We might as well stay on, talk a little bit. Monitoring what's going on nationwide with the craziness. Another situation is I made a video last night in New York City with the Jets cornerback, Chris Boyd. Did you see that situation? He was shot in the street. Now they're having the images of a suspect, but it seems like the Jets are not really supporting their player on why he was out there in the streets of New York early morning hours outside an Asian cuisine restaurant called Say Less, S-E-I Less. But they're putting images out there of the suspect. So we're also looking into that situation. The player was shot in the ab. We have a clip. I'm going to put up a clip here in a second of that Jets cornerback player shot in New York City. It's a big deal. It's NFL player. The Jets.
Jets cornerback Chris Boyd. Police just releasing new surveillance video of the person they're looking for in connection to the case as Boyd fights for his life in the hospital this morning. News 12's Edric Robinson is at the scene in Midtown Manhattan with what we know so far. Good morning, Edric.
Yeah, Marcy, we just received surveillance video and images of the person that police believe shot 29-year-old cornerback Chris Boyd right in front of this restaurant here on West 38th Street. Say Less. Let's get right to those images police released. You see the person wearing a black hat, briefly running in the street right after the shooting. Police are hoping that someone out there recognizes him. This happened outside the restaurant here just after 2 a.m. on Sunday. Investigators say Boyd was shot in the abdomen. Detectives spent hours out here marking shell casings and collecting evidence. Here's what people in the area had to say.
Very scary. It's getting more scary. Last time we were here, there was a shooter. Yeah. It's scary. Something has to be done.
I'm going to pray for him. I hope he makes it. But we need more police.
We're told Boyd is listed in critical condition this morning, but is stable. He just signed a year contract with the Jets, but hasn't played this season due to a season-ending shoulder injury. Police are asking anyone out there who recognizes the person seen in that image to call Crime Stoppers. In Midtown, Edric Robinson, News 12.
She said we need more police. What's going to happen at the beginning of the year with the new mayor who on his platform in New York City was basically saying defund the police. Less police, right? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. New mayor is supposed to be talking with the White House, with the President of the United States. Apparently, the President of the United States said yesterday that they reached out, the new mayor, and they want to talk. So that will be interesting. But yeah, less police. Speaking of New York City, in the next probably 20 minutes here, we're going to get a presser here, find out how this NYPD officer was shot, why. I think, you know, the NYPD, like Commissioner Tish, I think she's gone because they got a new mayor. Things could change in New York. It could turn really bad. It could get better. I don't know. What do you think? You got an NFL player that was shot out on the street in New York City overnight, Saturday into Sunday morning. Across the river, Newark, New Jersey, you got a mass shooting that occurred the same night, Saturday night. Two crazy lawlessness. 3 now, because now an NYPD officer was shot today, which we'll get information from. Wow, what a crazy Monday morning. I haven't seen anything else out of the bodies in San Antonio. But that's another city that seems like it's unraveling before our eyes in San Antonio. And we have a lot of people in our chat from the San Antonio area that have told us that San Antonio, Texas, is getting worse and worse by the day. And almost every other day, something crazy happens. Well, people are saying, as far as New York City, what's going to happen when the new mayor gets sworn in? What's going to happen moving forward in New York City? Is it a place where citizens are going to be safe? Or when you have a mayor that's basically supporting criminals or saying that most things shouldn't be criminalized, that normally should be criminalized, what's going to happen in the streets? How is policing going to work in New York City? Could take us back to the craziness in the early 90s, 80s in New York. They were getting thousands of homicides a year, maybe. Or does people believe in Mandami's vision? He has some support, and people feel like a vision that makes New York City better. But today, a police officer was shot in the face. Today. Somebody said you should visit Dearborn, Michigan. Oh, we've covered Dearborn. We're quite aware of Dearborn. Quite aware of Dearborn. We're also monitoring what's going on in Charlotte. I think Charlotte's going to get rocking and rolling here for the next week or two at least. With the immigration raids, the Border Patrol presence. They were standing, blocking them. A bunch of protesters were out there last night confronting Homeland Security agents at their facility. There was no Charlotte police in sight. So what we have here, folks, is one, we're just waiting for this presser to come up. It's supposed to come up in 18 minutes. NYPD cop wounded in face during standoff with shotgun wielding homicide suspect. This article goes on to say a New York City police officer was wounded in the face this morning during a shootout with a homicide suspect in Brooklyn. the injured officer was at the scene of a homicide that occurred early in the morning in Brownsville when the alleged gunman showed up with a shotgun and fired on the officer. The officer suffered wounds to his face and was rushed to Brookdale Hospital. An officer got shot in the face today. That's horrible. A shotgun. Holy smokes. Both the hurt cop and another NYPD officer who were guarding the crime scene returned fire. The shooter then barricaded himself inside a home at Thomas S. Boylan Street and later died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The suspect has not been identified. Police had been called to the address just before 6 a.m. after a 41-year-old man was shot in the chest. Crazy. Mayor Adams put out that he is at the hospital or on way to the hospital. Adams is gone. Pressers with NYPD and Mayor Adams could change here with Mondami and whoever his police chief is going to be. I don't think it's going to be Tish. We have a clip. We're going to get this clip up while we wait for this presser. We'll get a clip up in the pipeline about this situation. Yeah, he gets sworn in January 1st. Mondami. But in the meantime, you already have officers getting shot. But some people are saying Eric Adams is like a lame duck. Live look at downtown New York City and the different feeds while we wait for a presser to come up on this NYPD shooting. I keep getting information. Oh, Eric Adams is going off to Israel this week. Eric Adams getting off to Israel this week as City Hall tenure winds down. Oh, that was from the article from last week. Coming home now. He's meeting with this officer. Stand by. Hold on. So what they're saying is Mondami wants to meet with the president of the United States in the White House, and the president is actually open-minded to that situation. So that would be, a lot of people said, well, I would love to be a fly on the wall. With that one. Mondami says he wants everyone to affordable living in New York City, rent freezes. Mondami says that he wants everyone to travel around New York City free on a bus. Oh, we got another report. While we're waiting for this press conference, I'm going to go back to the Chris Boyd shooting. They just put out another report. There's a suspect still out on the loose on that one. They claim 1 million people are going to move out of New York City because of the new mayor. They claim that. Where would everyone go? And is that even possible? You really think a lot of people are going to move? Everyone's just going to move out? Where are they going to go? To Florida? Where are they going to go? I want to go back to this Jets player because this is an open investigation. Might as well talk about this while we wait.
New York Jets player Chris Boyd in critical condition this morning after being shot in the abdomen in Midtown Manhattan early Sunday morning. Investigators have yet to make any arrests, and according to the New York Post, police obtained surveillance footage of a car with Michigan plates driving out of a parking garage and crashing into a barrier as another person inside opened fire at the crowd. Sources also telling the Post that Boyd and 2 other Jets players left a restaurant because he didn't like the vibe and sensed some tension between other groups who were arguing with each other just before he was shot. Former FBI special agent and Fox News contributor Nicole Parker joins me now. Nicole, are you hearing anything from your sources in law enforcement about this shooting?
At this point, I'm really not hearing much about this. I mean, this is an awful, awful incident. It is a complete senseless act of violence, and it happens all too frequently. I mean, New York had been plagued and has been plagued with gun violence, and sadly, I think that might actually get worse with the new mayor that will be coming in January. But this is a 29-year-old NFL football star who had a bright future, and let's hope and pray for the best. But at this point, there's no one in custody. There have been no arrests made, and those that were witnesses seem to be uncooperative. And, there's word that there was a BMW that fled the scene, a Mercedes that fled the scene. This type of thing cannot be happening in our country where people are resorting to gun violence to solve their grievances. I mean, you cannot go out and shoot people just because you have an argument or a disagreement. But the fact that this individual said he did not have a good vibe there and left and still was shot, I mean, it's very sad. It's very, let's pray for him that he can recover and get back onto the football field where he belongs.
You mentioned looking ahead to January when the new Mandami administration takes over, but I want to focus on the next 2 months because this happened right in Midtown Manhattan. A lot of our viewers will be traveling to New York City for the holidays. Obviously, we have multiple trees and the Rockettes and all that stuff. Would you bring your family here during the holiday season?
That's a great question. I used to live in New York, but I was there under Mayor Giuliani and Bloomberg, and it is a completely different city. And I can tell you that when I travel to New York, I go, I do what I need to do, and I leave. But again, we shouldn't live in fear. No one should be living in fear, and people should enjoy the holidays. There's so many beautiful things to enjoy in New York, the Thanksgiving parade, the Christmas tree is coming. But again, be aware, be vigilant, and keep in mind that this did happen at 2 a.m. outside of a popular venue. Just be wise with your families, watch your back, but don't live in fear.
There's that expression, nothing good happens after 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. In many instances, that actually does hold true. Want to get your thoughts on your new book, The Two FBIs, The Bravery and Betrayal I Saw in My Time at the Bureau. It's out now. You can get it where books are sold.
Oh, she's selling a book. A lot of times Fox will bring on these commentators, but in the process, the agreement is, well, I'll give you my law enforcement take and my take on things, but in the sense, I want to promote a book. That's the deal. That's the deal. But yeah, I mean, they kind of echoing a little bit about, the fear about how New York City is going to be once this new mayor comes in. But in the meantime, you got an NFL player shot in Manhattan, and you have now a police officer shot in the face. We got a clip here with the situation that we're about to hear about at 11 a.m. with the press conference. But I want to share this information right here that has just been put out.
We are on the scene of a cop shot in Brownsville, Brooklyn. We can take that live right here. You can see our photographer, Roy Picorni, is on the scene there. He's been gathering information about exactly what's been happening. Here's what we know. An NYPD officer shot Monday morning in Brooklyn. Mayor Eric Adams does confirm this. You can see this is live video right now. This is still a very active investigation, an active scene as we're walking across the street trying to get a closer view. You can see just beyond that crime scene tape, you can see that's the crime scene unit that is on scene there, those investigators gathering some information. This all started at around about 6 o'clock this morning. This is Thomas S. Boylan Street. This is between Hegeman Avenue and Linden Boulevard, so pretty busy area, but also a residential area. There was a report of someone who'd been shot. Okay, so someone had been shot, and then officers who were nearby, they responded. But at some point along the way, they got into a car accident. So those officers then ran to the scene, and once they got there, they confronted the suspect. They apparently confronted the suspect inside of the apartment, and at that point, there was some kind of exchange. It's possible that the officer was shot. It's considered non-life-threatening injuries, may have been a graze wound, a facial wound, so it's not a life-threatening injury. But the mayor did confirm that that officer was shot. Not clear exactly what is going on with the suspect. We do have reports that the suspect may have taken his life, but that's not confirmed yet. We're still waiting. We know the medical examiner's office is on the scene there, and typically when the medical examiner arrives, you know, it's jumped to a more serious situation. The mayor did speak about this a little earlier. He tweeted, of course, the mayor is not in the city right now, he's in Israel right now, but he did put out a statement. He said, quote, "I have been briefed on the NYPD officer who was shot in Brooklyn this morning, quote, praying for the officer's recovery, and we will continue to monitor the situation." He says the first deputy of the city, the first deputy mayor, Mayor Andy Mastro, is headed to the hospital, and updates are going to be coming out as they are available. We're expecting that there will be a news conference from the NYPD at about 10:30, so about 25 minutes from now. But again, this is live in Brownsville, Brooklyn, where an officer was shot. A suspect may have taken his own life inside this apartment. This apartment is near Linden Boulevard. Large police presence. Our photographer Roy Picorni is on the scene there. He's been gathering some of the latest information. Still a very active situation, and when that news conference starts in about 25 minutes or so, we will bring it to you live. It's one of the things that we can do here at Newsroom Live, is when things happening, and they are happening live, we're able to bring them to you immediately as they're happening. And this is one of those situations where we're literally gathering news that will be in our broadcast later on this afternoon. But as he's gathering the news, as he's taking this video here, what may be evidence in the street of what actually happened, we can bring it to you live. So that's one of the major things that's happening in and around New York right now. Again, Brownsville, Brooklyn, where this officer has been shot.
All right, so that was put out. Looks like that was around 10 o'clock. They said the press conference at 10:30 got pushed back to 11. So it's apparently going to come on in 4 minutes. So the Mayor Adams is in Israel now. He's been there. The deputy mayor is now at the hospital looking at the officer. They're going to give a presser on the situation about what exactly happened here with the New York NYPD officer in Brooklyn being shot in the face by a madman with a shotgun. The man then went inside a home, apparently barricaded himself, and then turned the gun on himself. A lot of people fear that this will be the new norm in New York City once the new mayor comes in. I'm more of a tackle on law enforcement, but, you know, the rhetoric out there, crazy, 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 crazy. So we'll get an idea here in a few minutes. Got the sky scenes again in New York City. So a lot of information. There was a lot of conflicting things out there. I think we got accurate at this point. And we'll wait and see. Get some of the more the details, the key details of the situation that happened. Yeah, there's actually photos of the mayor in Israel. He's visiting the Western Wall in Jerusalem. It's out there. There's Mayor Adams is in Israel right now, visiting Israel. And Mandami's about to come in, first of the year. So just about 6 more weeks, New York City will have a new mayor. Again, some people are supporting it. Other people are not supporting it. All right, so we different feeds that are already starting to go up. As if this press conference is going to be underway shortly, we shall see. We are monitoring what's going on. So a lot of craziness. We talked about 4 incidents. San Antonio bodies. Cornerback for the Jets shot Manhattan overnight, Saturday into Sunday morning. Mass shooting in Newark, New Jersey, across the river. And now a NYPD officer shot. So 4 major incidents. Pretty big deal. San Antonio, I don't know what happened with that situation. I'll look more about it. That's where we started. And we shifted over here to this situation. We shall see. Yeah, Mayor Adams visits Jerusalem. All these people putting out videos saying masses of people are going to flee New York. But is that really true? You really think people are going to move from New York? You already got a job. You already got ties there. I mean, you're just going to move. Where are you going to move to? You coming to Florida? Coming to the South? Where are people going to move to? If 1 million people flee New York because of the mayor, where are they going to move to? Suburbs? Pennsylvania? Where's everyone going to move to? So people can't afford to move. You know, it's quite expensive to move. People are like, no one's really leaving. All right, hold on. We got a presser. Stand by. And get this up.
A young police officer was shot. 2 other police officers injured in a car accident racing to the scene. The police commissioner will give you more of the details of what happened in the early hours of this morning. But we have just spent time with the officers, and particularly the officer and his family who was shot in this incident. And fortunately, he is doing well, and he has a loving and supportive family. The mayor is fully briefed in the loop on all aspects, and we are fortunate that all of these brave officers are doing well, and we hope and pray for them complete recoveries. And we're pleased to be able to spend time with them to thank them for their bravery and their service. You know, in the past 48 hours, we buried a fallen firefighter hero, and we're here today involving a shooting and accidents involving young hero police officers. You know, it reinforces in our minds the incredible bravery and dedication of our uniformed services and what they do to protect us every day. That is why we live in the safest big city in America, because of young men and women who serve and sacrifice to make our city safe. And we are so grateful to these heroes and so grateful to their families who share in that sacrifice. We're grateful to the hospital staff here for their service and making sure that these young men and women in uniform
get the care that they need. And we are, on behalf of the mayor and all New Yorkers, we thank them for their service, their sacrifice, and their bravery. And now I'll turn it over to the commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. I am joined here by First Deputy Mayor Randy Mastro, First Deputy Commissioner Tanya Kinsella, Chief of Department Mike LaPetri, Chief of Patrol Phil Rivera, Chief of Detectives Joe Kenny, and Pat Hendry of the PBA. Today is another reminder of what's at stake when your NYPD officers come to work. They never know what will be on the other side of that door, but whatever it is, they face it with an uncommon valor that defines this department. The information that I am about to provide is preliminary and it is subject to change. At this point, here is what we know. Just before 6 a.m. this morning, EMS responded to an unconscious male in front of 1046 Thomas S. Boylan Street in the Brownsville section of Brooklyn. Upon arrival, they could see a victim had been shot, and they notified the NYPD. The victim, Leroy Wallace, was confirmed shot and pronounced DOA. And one shotgun shell casing was found in the vestibule of the building where we believe the victim was shot. We believe he stumbled outside to the sidewalk where he collapsed and where he was found. 2 officers from the 7-3 precinct remained to secure the scene, one with the victim's body outside on the sidewalk, and one inside of the building with the shotgun shell casing. Then, approximately at 7:45 a.m., a male opens the door of one of the first floor apartments and fires at the officer in the hallway from close range with a shotgun, striking the officer on the left side of his face. His injuries are consistent with birdshot pellets being fired from a shotgun. Our cop returns fire, and the perp barricades himself back inside of the apartment. The officer, Sharheel Waris, 25 years old, was then rushed to Brookdale University Hospital Medical Center and is currently in stable condition. While responding to the call of an officer shot, 2 other officers from the 7-3 precinct were involved in a vehicle collision at the intersection of New Lots Avenue and Thomas Boylan Street. Both officers in the RMP, as well as the operator of the other vehicle, were also taken to Brookdale Hospital. All suffered minor injuries and are currently in stable condition. ESU officers then responded to the scene of the shooting, which was now a barricaded armed perp locked inside of an apartment, and they secured the perimeter. To get a better idea of what was happening inside, ESU was able to break a first floor window, and they flew a drone into the apartment. Camera footage showed a male lying motionless on the kitchen floor with a shotgun on the floor near him. ESU then made entry into the apartment to render aid, and the perp was pronounced DOA on scene. At this time, we are not releasing the name of the perpetrator, pending further investigation and family notification. Officer Waris is a 4-year veteran of the NYPD assigned to the 7-3 precinct. We met with him a few moments ago, and I am pleased to report that he is in good spirits. But make no mistake, this could have ended very differently. What happened this morning is a reminder of how quickly danger finds the men and women who protect this city. They stood their ground, they did their jobs, and they kept people safe. And once again, they reminded us all what it means to put on that uniform. I will now turn it over to Pat Hendry.
Pat Hendry, president of the New York City PBA. Last night, when this police officer turned out in roll call, he had no idea what he was going to face during his tour. And even when him and his partner received that radio run, they didn't know what they were going to face inside that apartment behind that door. But when they went to that location, all they saw was a New Yorker in need, and they didn't hesitate. They took action. He came within inches of losing his life, but because of his skill and his composure, he's in that hospital room right now, upbeat. I had the opportunity to talk to him. 19 years old when he took the test to become an NYPD officer. 21 when he came on the department. A job that he always wanted to do, and he loves doing it. And he's going to continue to do it and do it well. But we ask all New Yorkers to pray for this police officer so that he gets back to full duty. And support all New York City police officers more than ever. And I ask all of our elected leaders to work with us, to support New York City police officers. Help us make our job easier. Do not make our job harder. Together, we can keep New Yorkers safe, but we need your support more than ever.
Oops. All right, we'll now take a few questions.
Come to a picture of the shotgun, and we're going to take some on-topic questions. We're going to start with Rocco.
Commissioner, what was the homicide about? And was there any indication between when police arrived and the fire that the gunman was in fact inside the building?
No, there was no indication that the gunman was still inside. Night watch detectives from Brooklyn North detectives actually knocked on that door an hour previously and got no answer. As far as the homicide, we're still looking into that. It appears that this could have been a neighbor dispute because the victim of that homicide lived in the apartment down the hallway.
Okay,
Okay, yeah, I was just going to ask about the relationship, if there's any known relationship among those men, and also, was this person, the suspect, was he known to any prior arrests?
Like I said, not positively 100% identified as of yet, but we do have a person of interest that we're looking into, and that person has no arrest history in New York City.
When the officer, after he was shot, when he fired back at the suspect, I don't believe you said, did anybody get hit? Did the suspect get struck at that point?
We believe the suspect was shot by the injured officer who returned fire once he was shot in the face.
Okay, and do you know where he was shot at that point?
Not at this time, still under investigation.
And we go to WABC.
Could that injury have been the fatal injury, or was there also a self-inflicted?
We don't believe that there was a self-inflicted wound. There was no ballistics evidence besides the shotgun laying on the floor. There were no discharged shell casings inside the apartment.
I am John Doyle, WC.
Chief, of the bird shot, one hit the officer in the face. They knew where the other spray landed. They throughout the hallway.
Crime scene's going through that right now.
Hi, folks. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you. The photo is going to be available on NYPD News momentarily.
That's crazy. I'll take you back to the backdrop here. Crazy, folks. New York City. Now, there's something else going on down there in South Carolina. If you want to, we're already talking about craziness. We might as well you want to keep the craziness going. There was a shooting at a food line over the weekend over a turkey. Literally, someone got shot at the food line in North Carolina. I believe. Yeah. High Point, North Carolina, over a turkey. And police right now are giving a press conference on this grocery store shooting over a turkey. It's pretty crazy. That's how crazy we are getting nowadays in this country. We already started out with 2 bodies, talked about an NYPD officer getting shot in the face, mass shooting. And now we have a situation where, people are getting shot over a turkey. We could get that up. Hold on, I'm gonna switch things up here. Argument over turkey leads to shooting at a grocery store. An argument over a turkey led to a man being shot at a food line in North Carolina. Police are giving a press conference right now on the matter. The shooting happened on Thursday, just after 6 p.m. at the food line on North Main Street, High Point, North Carolina. The shooting, one man got in an argument over a turkey. Or is this something else? Or this might be another grocery store shooting. Maybe. They're saying this is over some sort of shooting at a grocery store. Orangeburg. So it's another one.
Good morning. We want to thank you all for being here today for this press conference. First and foremost, we're thankful that no one was injured as a result of the incident that took place at the Food Lion. I'm joined here today by our Deputy Director, Colonel Ed Connor, Corporal Detective Corporal Brian Haynes, Ms. Teresa Williams, our Assistant City Administrator, City Councilman Kalu, City Councilwoman Liz Zimmerman-Kidd, and Lieutenant Albert Black. And we want to thank all of you for coming this morning. Tujari Legion de Vario Riley has been charged with breach of peace of a high and aggravated nature in connection with the discharge of a firearm inside the Food Lion on Chestnut Street in Orangeburg. The suspect was taken into custody on Friday evening and was granted bond Saturday morning. This is an ongoing investigation, and I want to take this opportunity to thank the Orangeburg County Sheriff's Office, the Ellery Police Department, SLED, and others for their assistance in what was a very quick response to the Food Lion and a diligent, coordinated follow-up investigation that led to the identification of the suspect. Would like to say that this is an ongoing investigation, and we certainly want to thank the public for their responses and assistance during this investigation. And we will keep you updated on any other developments as they take place. And so I'm going to ask Councilwoman Kidd if she will come, as well as Councilman Kalu and Ms. Williams. I have Lieutenant Black and Detective Corporal Haynes here, so that if you have any technical questions that you want to ask about the investigation, they will be available to respond to those.
Good morning. On behalf of the mayor and city council members, we're just so appreciative to the Department of Public Safety and all of the law enforcement that came and was so very much appreciative of them working as fast as they could to eliminate any danger to all of the citizens that was there at Food Lions during the time of the disaster that was going on. We are always hoping that people would be safe in Orangeburg and surrounding areas, because bullets does not have names on them, and you don't know where they are going. So we're asking the public, our citizens, not to carry unlawful weapons in places where a lot of people are. You never know what will happen when the bullets are exposed. You don't know who's going to be hit or whatever. So we're asking them our citizens to be very careful, especially during the seasons of Thanksgiving, Christmas, and forever. Keep the law safe. Thank you so much. We thank all of you for being here today. Please be safe and come back to see us at any time.
I'm going to tell you something crazy when this is done.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Caldo. I'm the Mayor Pro Tem for the City of Orangeburg. First of all, I'm grateful to God that no life was lost during the incident. And I'm also appreciative of the combined effort of the law enforcement, the Sheriff Department, the City of Orangeburg, the LRA, and also the SLED are coming together to de-escalate the situation. And so we thank God for it, and we pray that nothing will happen, especially at this toxic time. I know the anxiety is high, and people try to do whatever they feel like they want to do. But I pray that we observe the Thanksgiving period in peace, in harmony, and with love. Thank you.
Good morning. Just a few words on behalf of Orangeburg City Administration. This was a very, very unfortunate event that happened last Friday at the local Food Lion, but we have the utmost confidence in the Department of Public Safety and Chief Austin to resolve the matter. So I am very thankful that they were able to bring some type of resolution to the situation, and I thank you for being here to cover our update. We're always in support of public safety and their efforts, and we are behind them 100%. Thank you.
Okay, this time, if you have questions, we'll be more than happy to answer.
I'll tell you something crazy about that. So that is the second Food Lion shooting. So I was a little confused at first because they were talking about on Thursday, the Food Lion in High Point, North Carolina, someone got shot over a turkey. And I saw a press conference coming up about the Food Lion shooting. So I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to find out a little bit about the Food Lion shooting. And lo and behold, there was another Food Lion shooting. That was in South Carolina, Orangeburg, South Carolina, another Food Lion shooting. So that's what's crazy. Two Food Lion shootings in the Food Lion. What in the heck? There's so many, you get confused. My goodness. All right, well, that was a wide variety and range of topics this morning, from Food Lion shootings, NYPD officer shot in the face, bodies in San Antonio, Newark, New Jersey, mass shooting, New York Jets cornerback Chris Boyd shot in the abs, a suspect still out on the loose. We'll call it Maniac Monday. Stay safe out there, folks. Woo, what a mess. What a mess. All right. We cover what's going on. Very rare that we do these jumping on different things, topics, but this was a smorgasbord of craziness, literally. We'll find out more of each details if something progresses or there's a suspect with the Jets shooter. We'll share the mugshots and all that. You know, we do that. And be careful about the Food Lion and don't argue with people over turkeys. Our thoughts and prayers with the officer that was shot in NYPD. We are a pro-law enforcement channel. I'm very concerned about the future of New York City when it comes to the NYPD and law enforcement. Very concerned. So we hope that that officer has a speedy recovery. It's going to be okay. Best wishes. And it does appear, though, that the officer is in good spirits. Good spirits. So that's good. That's good. All right. We cover true crime, breaking news 24/7, 365. See it soon, folks. I'm sure we'll be back. Have a beautiful Maniac Monday. We'll talk soon.